Hello and welcome to the Captain's Table, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Berserker01 Batman Shelley, your humble host and space bartender here at the Astropub, and your facilitator here at the Captain's Table. This is where I bring people from all over the Star Citizen universe to talk about Star Citizen. Various different topics. Sometimes we have an overall theme. Sometimes it's just talking about the news. And today is more about the latter than the former. But before we get into that, let's talk with the folks. Let's go over here. Zarrk. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
Hey, I'm Zarrk. I'm just your average citizen, a captain of my own ship, and you can find me on Paul's Discord.
Yeah, he hangs out there.
Usually I fly around with my orc and my friends, and whenever I have time, I use the mentor system or the chat in game to help new players and get back some of the wonders of first time in Star Citizen and being overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's one thing I always say is if you ever feel kind of jaded on Star Citizen, if you can find someone who's brand new to the game, everything is insane. You know, I've heard so many people say like, "Oh, Star Citizen is nothing. Star Citizen do is new," and I was like, every new person who comes to this game is absolutely overwhelmed with the amount of stuff you can do in the game.
We got a new orc member like I say 4 weeks. It's maybe 4 weeks. So he bought the game last year in summer and only got to play now. He had to upgrade his PC and he is 4 weeks in. And let's just say his starter pack is long out the window.
All right, Jawa. Who are you? What are you doing in Star Citizen? And what are the name of all of those cats behind you?
I got my cats with me again. I usually have it on here. Love my kitties. And let's see, we got Pride, we got Sloth, we got Envy. No, I'm Jawa Sparky. I'm the other half of Fist and Jawa. And you can usually catch us on Thursday evenings, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, when we're out saving the universe or taking it over or who knows what. Or you can find me on Sunday mornings for Java with Jawa. And we're mainly a mining group that goes out, does a lot of mining of the different types. But our newest claim to fame is we stole a Big Benny's machine from Gundo, and we located it at Benny Hinge and found out that was kind of simple. So we're going to be relocating it elsewhere, like the middle of the lake at New Babbage. We may drop it right outside of the windows at Tisa. We're gonna start having fun with those machines.
Awesome. It's good to see that the old standby still works. I didn't even think they were physicalized anymore. I'm glad they are. Fist, who are you? What are you doing, Star Citizen? Where can they find you?
Hi, everybody. I'm Fist25. I am the other half of Fist and Jawa and Fist. Save the universe.
I knew I'd make it to the first slot.
Yeah, eventually.
Those Star Wars jokes never end whenever y'all come on. Everyone's like, I love fisting Jawas when they're here. They're amazing.
Oh, we get it a lot. Anyway, I kind of do the YouTube side and Jawa does the Twitch side when we do our Thursday streams, and I tend to make videos like guide videos, tutorials, ship reviews, things like that. Jawa is our Star Citizen travel agent, and as I call him, the Bob Ross of Star Citizen. Happy little trees everywhere on Microtech, and
happy little clouds now too. Yeah.
Happy little clouds.
Happy little river. You know.
Yeah. And then you can. I don't know, Jawa. I don't know if you plug the website, but we can be found at fistandjawa.org. And you can get all our links to there. We've actually had quite a few new members lately, and our org is growing, and our Discord group is growing, and it's actually been quite a bit of fun. It's been an interesting start to this year.
Nice, yeah. It's been a very rapid growth I've noticed as well. Even for me, it's just, there's a lot more people coming into Star Citizen, or coming back to Star Citizen as well from far away.
Right.
All right, so as many of you who are watching this may be able to tell from the title, that we are talking about Invictus. So we're going to talk about the Invictus. We're going to talk about what Invictus is, what to expect from it, ships, all those sorts of things, as well as the hot button topic about where it is located. Because this year, Invictus is located at Orison, which is the landing zone in Crusader, the gas giant, which we'll save that to the very end. But for first, what is Invictus overall? And Fist, if you had to describe Invictus to a new player, what is Invictus?
So many people equate Invictus Launch Week to Fleet Week that the U.S. Navy has, by the way. Best squadron in the Navy, VFA 25, Fist of the Fleet. So it's where the UEE Navy, except for Drake, they will sponsor this event, and it's all military ships. And it really, what it is a ship sale, but it's all military based ship sales. And then Drake kind of does their own thing for a couple days, and then it's just like IAE in November, but it's all military / combat ships and anything that's coming out new from CIG that they want to showcase and sell. And my personal opinion on it is it's the second biggest ship sale of the year. I think a lot of people, probably half or more, really get into this game for the combat, dogfighting type stuff, and it's a cool event for that. And then recently, in the last couple of years, they've been doing the special events like going to the Javelin and having the Bengal carrier out there, and so it's also kind of Squadron 42 UEE Navy lore, and those guys coming out and showing off their cool ships and stuff we'll eventually get to see in Squadron 42 and in Star Citizen soon, TM. So yeah, that's Fleet Week to me.
Jawa, how would you describe Fleet Week?
About the same as Fist, but I would it's a celebration. I'd almost kind of like Memorial Day. It's right around that time. And it's a celebration of our troops in Star Citizen. And then you get ship sales as well. And you get to go out and test out all of these military flyable ships. So that's basically what I look at it. It's kind of a celebration of our troops, which I also maybe selfishly look at a celebration of veterans around the world. Fist being a Navy veteran, myself being a Marine Corps veteran, that it is kind of a shout out saying, hey, even though we're playing this game, we're still in support of our troops.
Zarrk, your thoughts on Invictus? For those think about somebody who's never heard of Invictus or never been experienced Invictus. How would you describe it?
I would just say it's the better IAE. It's a smaller ship sale, but with more content.
Okay.
That's the interesting part. We have less ships on the sale, but there's more to do in the wars. It's not just the showroom. There's just a traveling navy, and let's not get into which ships get stolen this year.
Who can steal what ship? Yeah.
Yeah. And not to mention, now we have our upcoming events that got leaked, teased.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's more. It's if you are not that much interested into buying ships, but maybe testing them out or just having a blast. Fleet Week is the better IAE, though. As with every free flight, there are downsides.
Yeah. That's what I would say is as well, is that it's also a free flight event. So if you do not have a package, all you need is an account. You can make an account, and I'm going to shamelessly plug, because I don't do this often, I have my account listed down below. You can always use that if you want to. I'll also have Fist and Jawas and Zarrk's if I can find it. I'll have all of their references there too. So if you want to use any of those, if you just want to pick one and send it to your friends, feel free. But the idea being, you sign up for free, and you get to play the game for like a week plus. and you get ships that are loaned to you, and then you can fly off and do what you need to do. And all you need to do is have an account. And then if you decide to buy the game, if you use one of the referral codes, then you get a certain bonus in UEC, and then the person gets a little referral back. But for those of you who already have the game, you also get free ships to fly every single day. The first day being Anvil, the second day being Aegis, and I think it's 2 days now. So it's like the first 2 days are Anvil, the second 2 days, then the next 2 days are Aegis, and the next 2 days are RSI Crusader, Origin, and Consolidated Outland, and so on and so forth. So every 2 days, you have 2 days to rent and fly a bunch of ships that are on the floor. I think almost everything. And I will say, I agree with Zarrk. It's like the IAE, but with more to do. Instead of the IAE being solely about ship sales, the Invictus is also about other content. Like last year, they added the Bengal. The year before that, they had a Javelin that was flying around. I think the Javelin tour was last year, but the Javelin flying around was the year before that. So they keep upping. You're good.
The only thing missing compared to the IE is McCleary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jax McCleary.
They should just have who's his partner? Jimmy. They should just have Jimmy just flying around in a Javelin or something, not saying anything. Just.
But yeah, in lore, for those of you who don't know, it's actually it's in honor of an event that happens in the UEE, which is effectively like Enlistment Day. Because the UEE is huge, it's massive, it spreads over multiple different star systems. It's really difficult to get people together for recruitment. So it's effectively like a date. Practically, it's a date where everyone goes off to boot. So it's the date where you go off to your first training sessions. So it's everyone's at the same time going to the same locations, and then it's just kind of a collective send off of saying bye bye, enjoy. And then it's also a year later is when you get finished with your initial training, and so it's a year later. It's also a celebration of the new people who just joined the UE Navy. So it's like this. It's a little bit of both. It's the people leaving to go join the Navy and the people who've now officially finished their training and began to embark on their journeys in the Navy. So that's the whole lore behind it. And that's kind of been over time expanded over to more of a celebration of all those sorts of things. So, but yeah, that's Invictus. It's, I would say, unique because it is very, very different. We've had the IAE since I want to say 2017, 2018. So it's been around a lot longer. This only started in 2020. And it's gotten more ambitious every year. So I'm looking forward to this year. All right. Since one of the major focuses of Invictus is obviously ships, let's talk about ships that people should be looking for in the event. Any kind of rare ships you'd think people should pay attention to. And then we'll talk about the other rumored ships here in the future. So Zarrk, since you're the last one, tell us, what ships do you think people should be looking out for in the sale, at least?
Okay, for the sale, if it's coming up, definitely the MSR. It has its flaws, but from my experience, it's probably one of the best ships for 1 or 2 friends just doing everything. Be it some small bounty hunting, some small cargo running, some exploration. You can do most things. Just for trying out, though, I would say try the big ships just to imagine, is it something I want to pursue? Because they handle differently. You find they have different problems you have to solve. They have different strengths and weaknesses than the fighters. And for the small ships, I say pick up an Ares and be a flying size 7 gun and have some fun.
Space Burt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jawa, any ships that people should be looking at either for purchasing or for trying out on the floor?
Yeah, well, I agree with Zarrk. Try out some of the bigger, more expensive ships like the maybe the A2 or the M2. Check those out. I have a C2. I love it. I really do. But I mean, go out and drop some bombs and check that out. See what that's like. But I I'm sorry, I really love my Gladius, and that it's a relatively inexpensive ship, but during the Ninetales events and such like that, it has a pretty quick claim time. And I was just racking up points in that. You get it set up right. I think Fist has a very good video about that and of how to set it up. But I just love flying. I love the way it flies. Um, and for the size it is, it can actually take some hits as well. So and it can get out of the way pretty quick. So I just love my little Gladius.
Awesome. Fist, any things that people should be looking out for on the floor or in terms of sales?
So I was going to mention, I know Zarrk mentioned the Ares. So many people melted their Ares Ion,
Yeah.
and I think eventually once it gets balanced, it's going to be a super useful ship. I never melted mine, so if you melted your Ares, this will be a good time to get one back. But what's cool about Invictus is not only is there the ship sales on the limited sale ships, all of them, not just like an Idris, but you could still get like a Constellation Phoenix and things like that, right? So all those limited sale ships are on sale. And if you're interested in those, make sure to check out the times that they're going to go on sale, which CIG should put up on their website. But all the Masters of Flight series ships will be for sale. So things like the Gladius Valiant will be up there. You could rent that for free. You could take that out, and really, it's just a Gladius with a different loadout that comes with different weapons or different shield systems. And I think once we see release and everybody's super poor, those might be a lot more valuable because you might only be able to get a certain weapon in a certain system, and it takes forever to get there or whatever. So it'll definitely hold more value by the time that comes out. But I believe it's Paul, you'll have to help me with the ships, but it's a Gladius Valiant. I think there's an Avenger variant, maybe?
The Avenger Renegade.
The Renegade?
Yeah, the Renegade. Yeah.
And the Saber Comet is the third one.
Saber Comet.
The fourth one is the Hornet Wildfire.
That's right. The Wildfire. Yeah. I have a Wildfire. I didn't even remember. But yeah, so you could get those. And I tell you, I was the first Invictus in 2020 was my first big ship sale. And because I came in at 3.8, and the first time I saw the Carrack, I was like, I gotta have this ship. Believe it or not, guys, I know the Carrack's exploration, but it's a military ship, right? It used to be military. And I'm just walking around, and I was still in the super honeymoon period of the game. I was like, this game is the best thing ever made in the world, and I'm bringing people who like my wife's family down, and I'm like, look at this on my, look at this. They're like, what? It's got a medical bay, and I'm like, you don't understand. It's it's so huge, and yeah, that was the first. Also, the first time I became concierge was the first Invictus. So be prepared to probably drop some money.
That meme for from Wreck-It Ralph 2, where like there's the girl with the pad and she's scrolling, and then suddenly it's like, congratulations, you're Invictus, and like or your concierge, and it's like the top hat and monocle appear on her face, and she goes like that is quite what that is almost exactly what concierge feels like, because you're just like, oh yeah, I'll buy this ship, and then like 6 months later you click it and you're like, you're concierge. It's like, I spent $1,000. What the heck? How did that happen? It doesn't even feel like that.
I must say,
I know that feeling.
I'm in the strange spot. Over the last 10 years, I've only spent like $900.
Wow, you have that limit.
I'm actually pretty good, even though I have like a merchantman, a Carrack, with upgrades to Polaris and all that juicy stuff. But I'm now at the moment where I say, okay, I want to be a concierge.
Yeah.
But what do I put those $100 into?
Exactly. I think technically,
Defender.
I think
your merchant
technically, if you buy merch, it gets added towards that as well.
It does.
So you could buy
does.
you could buy a nice T-shirt or a jacket or something like that, and you can get yourself. There's a Star Citizen drink set that I have, which is actually really good quality.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah,
They are really.
I've got me some
yeah,
pen from like 16,
yeah.
2016.
The pen and the pad, yeah, that you got, yeah,
And
I got
the
slippers.
playing cards.
yeah.
Oh, you got the cards. That's
Yeah.
cool.
They
Yeah,
are
I'm getting
cool.
old. I just got Jawa that crazy Microtech sweater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
That's like a gift.
I'm seeing that. Yeah,
I'm fading it out. Oh yeah, the 400i stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or the pin
So,
set.
and then I would say, also as some advice, things that are meant to go together that you may have bought separately, like a Banu Merchantman and a Banu Defender go
Mhm.
together. And I mean, I bought the Defender before the Merchantman, but you could always supplement things like that. Because it's a combat ship, so it's going to be on sale.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's
The one
like
thing,
go ahead,
Go ahead,
buddy.
yeah, the one thing that's very important is before you buy any ship, first they will be purchasable in game.
Mm-hmm. Eventually,
Second thing is think very carefully, what do you want to do? Are you a single person? Are you a small org of 5 or 10 people? Forget about an Idris, forget about a Javelin. Even a Polaris might be a stretch.
Mhm.
If you want to leave Stanton, if you want to jump systems, forget about the single seaters, forget about all the light fighters. You won't be able to bring them with you. So be clear, what's the gameplay I want to pursue?
Mhm.
And then think about which ship you might want to buy. And check your bank account and
Yeah.
ask your wife first.
Yeah. Wife,
Or your
significant other.
husband.
Yeah.
Or your husband, or
Yeah.
your mom, or your dad, or
Whoever.
You know what though? I would disagree with the big ship one, because I think we're supposed to be able to hire NPCs as crew
Mm-hmm.
at some point. So I think we'll be able to solo the bigger ships. Maybe paying a crew for a javelin is gonna be as much as an 890 jump cost, but I would say stuff like a Carrack or maybe an Idris Privateer, something like that, where it's not a
Kraken Privateer.
gigantic cruise.
Yeah.
so. Carrack, no problem. I say a Carrack you can even fly solo, because if you don't want to fight, you don't really need people, and you get 2 NPCs, you're done. The Polaris is a bit of a mixed bag in my eyes, because it has a shit ton of turrets. It has a lot of turrets, and you wanna get them manned if you wanna fight, and it's a combat ship. For the Idris, it's just not feasible for a small org to actually run this thing, even if you could hire all the NPCs you need. Ammunition, you need weapons, you need fuel, you need repairs, you need stuff, and you need to make money off the ship. And it's not feasible if you're only a 10, 15 man org. You won't be able to get in that money.
I think
At
it's
least not.
That's if money's your goal, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Mhm.
I have a Kraken, but our org for active players that are constantly in the game is probably around 15 to 20, which is really probably not enough to man a Kraken or my Polaris that I traded in the Odyssey for.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal is, honestly, it's just to have fun and enjoy. If we aren't making money, I don't really mind it. I'd rather have fun and hang out with my buddies. So
Mhm.
I understand you, and that should be the goal. But if you don't have money and you can't buy fuel, at some point you just
Sure.
sit in the space. And
Yeah.
I just say most people underestimate how much things might gonna cost.
I would say
And
I think the sentiment is more like, know what you want to do. Don't just buy a ship because it's cool looking.
Right.
Because you may come down and you're like, hey, I actually want to do this, and you're sitting there with a Perseus. It's like, I want to go mining. Why do I have a Perseus? You know, it's because it was hyped up and it's cool. It's like, yeah, just kind of get to know what you want to do first. What I would say is for anybody, just fly all of the ships on the floor. If you're brand new, you've never done it, fly those ships. And I would steer away from concept ships unless you 100% know you want that. Yeah. Because concept ships have a way of changing quickly in their final form. So
you know, I would also say though, if you do end up buying a Perseus, let's say, right, you spend a few $100s doing that, and then you're like, man, I just don't care about combat. I want to be a miner. Melt it and put it towards an Orion at some point or something like that. You know, a mole. And go from there, because I'm sure there'll be other mining ships coming out in the future. And there's always a way to respend that money that you have put into the game, because you can't get it back. So.
That's the other thing I would say is anything you want to purchase in game, note that this is money that you're going to be going to supporting the game long term. Right. I don't like that seeing this term like, oh, you're getting a pledge, not a buying. You're buying something, but remember that you don't need anything but a $45 package. You don't need anything but that starter packet. Everything else is going to be achievable in game, even the larger ships. So if you're spending more money, don't just get swept up in the hype. Just, you know, if just be like, hey, you know what? I like Star Citizen. It's treated me well. I like how everything's going. I'm gonna throw $60 down and upgrade to a Cutlass. It's like, that's fine. No one's gonna shit on you for that. But just keep that in mind, that like you don't have to get a Cutlass to succeed. You don't have to get an Idris to win, you know, the game. It's just, you know, those things are possible. Go ahead. Sorry.
I say that there are small upgrades that make sense, like going from an Aurora to an Avenger, or maybe a Cutlass if you want to. But beyond that, there's nothing you really need.
Yeah.
If you have an Avenger or Cutlass, you're good.
Yeah, I upgraded from the standard Avenger to the Renegade. So I basically kept my starter ship. Then I got a 325, but I've gotten into mining. So of course I have a prospector. I also have a mole. I bought that because my org on Sundays, they like doing that. So I bought a mole. But now we're looking at the Expanse coming out. You know, I was all over that because that will be neat. In our org on Sundays, we also have people that like doing dogfighting and such. So they said, oh, I'll just run patrol. That's going to turn out perfect for us. But as Zarrk said a little bit ago about going into other systems, I see that the Liberator coming out is going to be something for smaller orgs that you can put a bunch of small ships in there, go through, and go have some fun that way, because you can come back, repair, refuel, rearm, and go back out. So I mean, it's a small carrier.
Yeah, and it's also requires like 2 or 3 people to function. It's very small in terms of crew operations. So it's where it is. Zarrk, you were saying something?
Just wanted to say, because you mentioned the Expanse, Jawa. I find it awesome that the Expanse can refine scrap.
Yeah.
Because it makes it actually independent from the mining loop. You don't have to mine. You just can go, I buy scrap, I refine it, I'm done.
Yeah, I actually caught that out on the Q&A video. I was so excited about, all right, refining, all right, you know, cool. Been waiting. Oh, Paul knows I've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
But then when I heard the whole thing about for salvage, I went, wait a minute, what? And I had to back up the video. And I went, oh, that's cool. So because you're right, it could be used for more than one thing. And I can't wait till salvage comes out. Hey, I want to check that out. See what it's like. Is it like mining? Is it not? How are the profits and all of that? And if it does, I'm going to probably expand out.
So many inappropriate shapes get drawn into ship hulls.
Well, apparently they're testing it out with the Reclaimer now. So the Reclaimer has its ability to draw giant male appendages on larger ships. So.
Hey, Fist, that's kind of like our lotion in our basket, huh?
Oh my! So, real quick, let's share this joke.
Okay.
If you've ever seen Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah.
one of our org guys, he calls his Pisces the lotion, and he calls his Carrack the basket. So put the lotion in the basket.
The basket.
And there's also like he paints free candy on the side of his Carrack and stuff. It's quite funny.
Oh.
We have some photos in our screenshot in our Discord that are pretty
all right, so I think the last two more topics. The next topic we're going to talk about was new ships, because every new ship, every new sale has new ships that they sell. They always sell concept ships or straight to flyable ships. We do know that the Scorpius will be flyable in 3.17.1, which is the patch for this. But the question becomes, there are 4 unannounced ships on the roadmap. We know one of them is in final art phase, and 2 of them are going through gray box. So, and these ships are the ones that usually end up at these sorts of sales. So, what are you expecting? Because there's been a couple of leaks and a couple of discussions here and there about what might be coming out. And considering this is a military-themed event, probably going to see some military ships. So what are we going to, what do you each think we might be seeing, what people might be seeing in the future? Fist, you get started with that one.
So first off, the Scorpius, I have been waiting for this ship forever, the X-Wing, right? RSI's, I guess this took the place of the Black Widow maybe or whatever, but I ever since the concept of, because I love my Super Hornet, right? And having those 2 people working together in a fighter, the Hurricane concept, I can't wait. Scorpius is going to be amazing. I've already made up my mind that I'm going to like it no matter what. And so I'm super excited for that. Go fly with Jawa. We're going to do a machinima based off of Top Gun, and it's going to feature the Scorpius. So anyway,
ways to Jawa, boys.
That's right. But I have heard rumors of the Drake Mule possibly coming out, and it's I don't think it's going to be a military ship. When I think of a mule, I think of a mule like a 4-wheeler type of, like a very small cargo hauler vehicle. That's, I think personally, it's gonna be a ground vehicle, and it's gonna be a 4-wheel ground vehicle that, because they already have the Dragonfly, that's just gonna carry a little bit of cargo from here to there. But I've seen pictures, and I didn't know what to make of it on leaks, on SC leaks. But
those pictures were trolls. The huge ones, the ones that were massive, like the massive.
No, well, no, it's the one with there's like a cargo box with a code on it, and this was just like yesterday or the day before, and something to like it's stored inside of a storage unit. And Jawa and I were talking about it this morning. Wouldn't that be cool if it's like it's not Carvana, it's whatever the place is where you go get your car out of a a Connex or whatever, a trailer, and you just pop up in there and you have a code, and you beep beep beep. Oh, I can grab my mule out of here and I can run this from here to here. And I think that would be cool. You store it back in there. I mean, kind of like what we have now with the ASOP, but a little more physicalized. But as far as the other unannounced ships, I'm truly, I don't know. And I think we don't know enough information to accurately speculate. But yeah, so that's my take on that.
Okay. Jawa.
Drake Go-Kart. Yeah, Drake Go-Kart. Sorry, I saw that in chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also somewhat excited about the Scorpius. I'm more mining, but it'll be fun. That turret, the way it moves, that I can't wait to see how well that works. Because it's kind of one of those on top, behind, and below at the same time. Because Fist and we do go out, and I get the turret a lot, and I think that'll give me a little more independence. That okay, I don't need him to nose down, I don't need him to nose up. I could just kind of move around a little bit, although everything's going to have to be behind us. But I'm looking forward to that. And when I saw the Drake Mule, I thought of one of those Cushman 3-wheelers. So with, maybe a box in the back that you could sell burgers or tacos out of. But yeah, it's but now that we've gotten more and more wheeled vehicles, um, are roads coming soon? I know that's off topic, but are
Yeah.
roads coming soon? Fist and I
They
were
have
talking
to.
about this today. We're gonna do like a biker gang with the new Ranger.
with the Rangers.
When they get when they get the roads in, we're gonna kind of go off and make our little biker gang. So
With Jawa's taco truck.
Yes.
With the Drake Mule.
I, in terms of like roads, I don't think we're going to see roads soon. I think what we'll have to see is how outposts work, or like the colonial outposts work. Because I think in like maybe Pyro, we might see roads between those various colonial outposts. But at that point, it's also, again, this is one of those things that I think a lot of people get confused of. They say roads and they go, oh, well, the players won't use roads, they'll just fly. And the answer is yeah, but NPCs will use roads if they use them. And that's what they'll be designed for, not for players necessarily, but NPCs. And in order to get that, they need to improve the performance and be able to put more NPCs per server and all that sorts of things. So that's
Paul, I think we talked about that in one of the last Captain's Table, that with the roads, that everybody's not going to be able to buy a flying ship. They're going to have to make their monies elsewhere. And so they're going to have to be like ground-based truckers or something like that.
Yeah.
And start off on the ground. Yeah.
And I think roads. So basically, I would say roads are already done. They are pretty much river tech with a different skin. The main thing will be that the rivers have their set of rules which they apply to make the river flow, and roads will need a similar set, but they will probably have somewhere in the set connect outpost and go from outpost A to outpost B. So before we get roads, we'll probably first see procedurally outpost generation. And when those come in, then they will connect it.
Yeah, hopefully you won't blow up if you touch the road like you do with the rivers. I found that out the hard way.
Well, I think there'll be some fixed roads too, though. Like Loreville to Edmonds, right? That should be. Those are two hardcore points. They're not going to change. There should be a road between them because it's in real life, right? Just like as in Star Citizen, it should be cheaper to transport goods back and forth, it NPC wise or player wise.
Yeah. And if someone just needs to go to like the local outpost, they're not gonna charter a flight to which is like less than 15 kilometers away. They're just gonna like pop into a cyclone and drive. Like it's it'll take a little bit longer, but it's gonna cost you a handful of credits versus the like 100+ credits you're gonna cost for you to fly out there. So all right, Zarrk, your thoughts on new ships? What do you think? What do you expect? Do you think?
So the Scorpius, I'm already done with the ship. I've seen everything I want to see in the Invictus launch trailer. When it pulls up the nice Return of the Empire, the Emperor Strikes Back shot.
Yes.
Great shot. I'm done with the ship. I don't have much love for all the fighters. I'm not a dogfighter, so I'm fine. For the Mule, I really hope it's a decent cargo truck. Maybe 2-3 different variants. Maybe one is taco truck. Maybe one is a tactical, and then we have one simple pickup. Perfect. Because we need something that actually can put stuff on the back and run around the road.
Yeah.
Just put wheels on the Nomad. We're good.
Yeah, pretty much.
The Argo
As
cargo.
for the other ships, I say there's one interesting concept ship. It started last year in July and finished this year in February for 33 weeks. So I guess that's probably a larger ship. And it's probably Anvil. And the interesting thing is I mean, Paul, you say it's the replacement for the Perseus and Idris, and
Yes, that's my theory.
I can see it being something around the size of a Polaris, though. The Odyssey took 55 weeks in concept, so I'm not sure if it is that large.
Mm-hmm.
Main thing I'm curious is, last year they announced they wanted to use new tech, some new technology, some new advancements, and
Yes.
I'll be honest, having a 160, 170 meter long ship with 3 size 9 turrets on board, that doesn't scream new tech. It's perfectly fine as a patrol ship,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't scream new tech. So I'm very critical and very interested what this new tech spin is. Because if we take a look at, I mean, you always say Anvil is guns with engines,
Mm-hmm.
but if we take
Guns
a look
with
at
armor and
what,
engines. Yeah.
yeah, guns with armor and engines. But when we take a look at what or how the large ships of Anvil are actually designed, we have the Carrack, the Crucible, the Liberator.
Boxes.
None of those, and
I said boxes. They're boxes.
yeah, they are boxes, but none of those ships are in any shape or form primarily firepower. They always have some sort of additional thought or use, more utility-like. And I think if we see something like this, then it's probably, if we see a larger ship from Anvil, it will probably go more in the utility focus than the pure combat.
I would disagree, but that's different. I'll spread my theory because those of you who haven't watched my office hours may not know.
I know your theory, and
Yeah.
personally, I think yes, and the only reason I disagree is because they said new technology.
New technologies.
And it doesn't scream to me new Perseus.
I would my only thought would be new technology would be, instead of having a railgun, now they have a plasma railgun. So it doesn't have any projectiles. Two for the price of one. Yeah. But so for those who don't know, there's a long-term lore theory that I've had based off of the lore, based off of kind of how CIGs build ships, based off of a lot of other factors, that seems to indicate that Anvil is going to get a combat variant of a capital like ship at some point. I'm not going to go through the exhaustive thing, but the company that was the progenitor before Anvil, Case Aerospace, was in the works of designing a replacement for the Perseus before the founder and CEO, Leonard Case, died in an accident, and so that whole project fell through. Now, Anvil Aerospace has all of the original documents from Leonard Case and Case Aerospace, which is why we have the Anvil Hurricane, because that was originally the Case Hurricane. And Anvil was, inspired by all of those designs. So that means that there's somewhere a design for a replacement for the Perseus somewhere inside Anvil's archives.
Because I just see Puppet Frontier with this beam, rail, beam, I have solved the problem. Ship with beam weapons. We finally get beam weapons.
Go. Beam weapons, beam ships.
They already have that. It's called the Prospector.
But
weaponizing
those.
Weaponizing
those, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually took down. Somebody flew between me and what I was mining, and I kind of cut their ship, and they crashed, and then I got the crime stat. So.
Yeah. Before they fixed the killing people with the mining beams, I killed Orkmate from off mine. So yeah, they were deadly ones.
I killed Jawa 3 days ago with the hand mining tool.
I used to one of the first times I went to prison, when prison came around, someone tried to punch me, so I turned around and blasted them with a mining tool on full blast, and I killed them in a couple of seconds. So it was like, this is a weapon.
And they just give it to you for free.
Yeah.
So Paul, I have seen your video on the Andel Cap ship, and I think that's going to be a reality. I'm not sure if it's part of these unknown ships. I think I want to say maybe closer to IAE, because I think IAE's big thing this year is going to be the Banning Merchantman coming out. and they'll probably have something else new. But I would think an Anvil cap ship would be concept for quite a while still. But you know who I really want to hear more about is Gatak, because they only have the one ship in the Raylan. And I think that would be cool to see, maybe, straight to flyable or unannounced concept of more alien ships, because I really do like the curves, and I've been really excited about the merchantman progress I've seen so far. Even if it's something else, but even if it's another Van Duel ship or something like that that Asperian does, I think that would be cool to see. And of course, I really want to pick up that last Crusader ship, so I own them all. Which would be the with the Starlight.
A larger Tavern ship would be awesome.
Yeah, larger Tavaran ship from the
like maybe a Connie competitor, somewhere in the Connie 600 range.
All we have is the Talons, right? It's just the two Tavaran.
The
Prowler.
And the Prowler. That's right.
Yeah. Now, I will say,
a combat ship would be. I mean, like an actual bigger, like a
cruiser,
constellation size,
or constellation,
or
size,
even like a cuddy type of cargo / combat.
Yeah,
Tavaran ship with feathers for wings.
I could see like maybe 80-meter long escort ship, like having a bunch of turrets escorting freight and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Now, I also like to clarify. I even said in that video, like, this is something that has been spun. It's more tinfoil than it is reality, because there's no evidence for what I just said, other than circumstantial evidence about the idea of the Anvil replacement for the Perseus. I honestly do believe that we're going to see the bomber ship, though. The bomber ship that was pitched at CitizenCon last year, because they finished this. The small bomber ship,
it's called the Star Bomber or something, right?
Yeah, they called the leaks said it was something to the effect of the Achilles Star Bomber, but it doesn't matter what it's called, because what matters is we know that they're making a small bomber. They told us pretty much, and they finished working on a size 3 or size 4 bomb, which they were working on independently, just on their own, plus cluster bombs. I don't know if they finished that, but they were working on that. So I can see all three of those saying, okay, well, it's Invictus, which is, something that is combat related. They want to do a bomber, which is perfect for that. And they've already built the bombs for the ship. So they're just waiting for the ship to be done. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Scorpius, this Star Bomber, and the Drake Mule, which I think is going to be a hover vehicle, a hover truck with various modes, where you can get like a hover truck, like it's like a kind of a competition with a Cyclone. So you either have the one that just has cargo, one that has and one that has like a 2 size 2 gun strapped to it, like a technical. So that would be my thing. Because I'd also like to argue that Drake would argue this, that mules have a long history of being combat support for armies for time immemorial. Mules have been as moving equipment and people to and from battlefields. So this is just Drake's new addition, the future mule, which is just a truck with guns. But
so you think it's going to be a little more like an Ursa Rover, the mule?
I think it's going to be the size of a Cyclone, but between a Cyclone and an Ursa, but more of an open canopy like the Cyclone. But instead of having 2 seats, it's just one, and then it's just a big like cargo container, like one of those store-all containers you can get in the back of an Aurora, can like fit there, sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can either have that variant or the variant that swaps that out for like a second seat with a gun, so you can just fly around and you go around and shoot things. So. I
like that concept.
We need a space tactical, We need. Go ahead, Zarrk.
But I think Drake would argue for wheels, not hover, not Gravlev, because wheels take less space, which means more space for guns.
That's true. That could be true. Though I do know that Drake already has the Dragonfly, so that's why I would be arguing that it's the Gravlev, because rule of cool. But Because Drake also likes speed. What's up?
Chat, the rabid chinchilla said the mule steel.
The mule steel. It's not the mule steel. It's called the steel mule. That's what it's called. Yeah.
Hey, we made one of those. Yeah, we made one of those. We just put a bunch of guys in the back with rail guns. Yeah.
All right. So the last topic I want to talk about before we move into the question and answer is the one that I've heard a lot of people comment on, which is the fact that it's in Orison this year. For those of you who don't know, who haven't played the game recently, Orison has a notorious reputation as being one of the worst optimized landing zones in the game because of the clouds and because of all the new stuff in it, that a lot of people's performance drops well below what you'd experience in most other places in the game, even other landing zones. Now, there have been improvements with 317 towards that effect. The question is it enough? So the overall question I'll pose to y'all is CIG making a mistake by putting it in Orison? Zarrk, what do you think?
Okay, so I have yet to visit Orison in 317. Though I'm already in Grimhex, so I get there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it really depends. For the exhibition hall and it's on itself, going to the spaceport, I never have any problems. And I have a very old graphics card on RX 480, so I have no problems running it in the spaceport. So just this would probably be fine. Now, if we put in 50 and 49 other players, might get spicy. But still, as long as we are inside the exhibition hall, I don't see much problems. They are great at culling unnecessary stuff, and if the hall doesn't have too many windows, shouldn't be no problem. But going on a platform, going inside some of the more open shops, going to the Horizon bar, frame rate tanks. So I have a huge question in regards to the FPS event that's supposed to happen. And I'm not sure if they actually can pull it off, because if the frame rate goes, I mean, I got already killed once by desync in the new patch.
Mm-hmm.
So if we add horrible frames to this, I don't see it good. And personally, especially with the FPS event in mind, I would have put it on Microtech. Maybe Area 18, I mean, Microtech probably not, because it would be a third year in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So going for Area 18 would be better, I think. Just open up 1 or 2 skyscrapers for the FPS event, be done.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, it might be they actually get something, and it actually runs somewhat smooth because they stop all those cherry blossoms. They have some new solution for the clouds and so on. Don't know. Simply from if Orison would run slightly better, I can understand why they would want to put it there, because Orison is, with all its issues, the most beautiful landing zone, hands down.
Yeah.
But I don't think many people will appreciate it, especially people that coming in from the free flight that do not know how it's going on, that might not know all those small little tricks, how we, let's say, combat those frame drops. They will suffer, and that's the huge problem.
Okay, Jawa, what do you think? Mistake?
When Orison was first there, I was, well, Fist knows, and I think you do too. I was so looking forward to it because I had finished everything else in this dance system. I was
Mhm.
waiting for Crusader, and When it first got there, I remember coming in for a landing and the hangar ate me because I was at negative frames per second, I think. But for me, it's actually gotten so much better. I don't have the frame drop, and Fist knows this. I've sat there and stared at the cherry blossoms for like 10 minutes because it's just, I love the way they move, and it is somewhat randomized. It would move like air moves. So I really liked that. But I think where people are going to have their issue, especially some of the new players, it's it takes me how long to get through Atmo? To get through the atmosphere? I mean, if they're coming from, oh, I'm gonna start here instead of starting there, they're gonna start at Art Corp or something, and they get there, they quantum in, hey, that was cool. After they've come out of atmosphere at Art Corp, and then it's 5 minutes in, they're gonna be going, where is this thing? And then trying to find where you land. I mean, it. I learned it looks like a big spider.
Mhm.
So, and I just kind of aim for that thing because I have flown in there and not gone to that, went somewhere else, and you can't hail the station at all. So you don't know where to go. So it is one of those things. So for the new people, I strongly suggest setting Orison as your spawn point if you want to attend this.
I
Um
think it
and
gets auto set for Orson. I believe last year they auto set it for Microtech if you are from the free flight.
oh, okay. Oh, it's an auto
For the
set
free
for
flight.
there. Oh, okay.
I
Oh, I didn't
think
realize
so it
that.
is.
Oh, okay, which is a good thing. But if you decide to go exploring, take off, but do like what trail guides do. Go up a little bit, stop, turn around, look what's behind you, see what it looks like, so you know what you're going to be flying to. So I think that's the main thing for me is the time it takes to get through atmosphere, but they are showing off one of the prettiest places in the verse.
If you want to
Fist.
leave Crusader,
I'll be
just
right back.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. If you want to leave Crusader, make sure you have something to do elsewhere, like cooking, cleaning the house, bringing the kids to school, and once you're back, you maybe be ready to
Go
go.
grocery shopping,
Yeah.
change oil in your car. Yeah.
It's insane.
Aw, pupper.
So I don't think it's a mistake. One, it's the next natural evolution of landing zone to go to. I was hoping they would have had it last year, IAE there, but so yes, there's a ton of frame rate issues, and so just to give you an example, I have a 3080 Ti
Hmm.
graphics card, and I have a 5900 X CPU. Um, my rig is cool, everything's water cooled, like really good rig, but I play at 4K, and
Mhm.
I have all the settings turned up to max, right? So when I show up to Orison in 316, I think the best I ever got was maybe 25 frames.
Okay.
If I'm recording or streaming off of that, take that down by at least 10.
Mhm.
So it's very choppy. In 317, I've gained probably 2 to 5 FPS depending on what's going on around us.
Okay.
So yeah, I think once the transparent stuff is done for the Gen 12 shader, I think that'll help quite a bit with unlocking the CPU power. But um, even when Vulkan comes out, I'm probably going to turn on ray tracing and all that stuff. So it's just going to go back down. But
Yeah.
yeah, so but I don't think it's a mistake. I do one. I have heard, I have not confirmed, but I've heard that they are not going to hold the Nine Tails event until after the free fly is over.
That sounds about right.
And then on the other side of that, the Nine Tails stuff is on a special VIP platform that's 100 kilometers away from Orison. So hopefully that, because it's so far away, they don't have to worry about rendering any of that stuff while you're in Orison. But on the flip side, that means everybody is going to be at Orison. So you're going to have all 50, 49 people at Orison probably doing something until they go out flying. And I think it'll be good for the free fly because it is such a pretty place. Even though I think Hurston now is the prettiest atmosphere to fly around in. And I think Microtech's second. I'm not a huge fan of the blue pink clouds at Crusader, but I think it'd be great for the free fly, and I think people are going to get bad frames. It's just inevitable. But I also, maybe it'll force them to realize, hey, this game is still heavily into graphics development. And maybe if Chris Roberts' kids play and they're like, Dad, I have 4 frames a second, that'll become more of a priority. I'm not sure.
I will also echo the fact that I think there's also a significant difference between being in Orison on the platform and being inside a building at Orison. When you go inside the buildings at Orison, your frames go right back up because they've done something where, like, when you are in buildings, the Gen 12, there's like maybe some aspects of Gen 12 are more active there than they are outside of buildings. And it tends to mostly be issues with like weather. So like on most planets where you have low FPS drops, it's because like a windstorm kicks in, your everything goes down. So there's something that's going on there. Is chat saying OCS? It could be OCS, but like this is new to this patch. That hasn't happened before. I've seen such ridiculous things where like I'm in a bunker where I'm walking in and I'm getting barely 20 FPS on the bunker. And then the second I go through the doorway and stare at that back wall, I get 60. And then I don't drop below 60 for the entire bunker. The second I come back up and look right outside, it goes right back to 20.
This is not new to this patch. It's in the past patches already. Maybe you didn't notice all too much. I noticed it because my graphics cards is very old. Inside buildings, you always have better performance.
Yes.
They always call out the outside, and they pumped it up a notch, probably because IE on Orison, but it's not completely new.
Well, but it's dramatic though. Like before, it was like you get like 10, 15 FPS difference. Now it's like outside is dog turds and the inside is glorious. Like I've gone from looking outside getting 15 FPS and turning my head and then going from 15 FPS to getting 120. like it's shocking how much the difference can be at times. So with that being said, I think that's what we're likely to see with this Invictus event, is that the convention center, you're going to go to a convention center, and it's going to be a little choppy when you're going in there, but the second you get into the convention center, your frame rates are going to just go way up. So, and eventually they're going to have to do it. I don't think there's any landing zone that doesn't have that performance hit. And who knows? They may add some more stuff to Gen 12 for 3.17.1 that could help improve that quality as well, which we haven't seen yet. So,
well, and I'm hoping there'll be more fixes to the streaming, object container streaming, because it was pretty rough in PTU.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our like the discussion section. Now we're going to go to the question and answer session. So stick around if you're watching this on Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like the video, subscribe to see more of these. Come join us live every Saturday, or not every Saturday. Saturdays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, where you can ask questions yourself for the chat, or come and hang out and watch this live and get the vibes and everything. Make sure that you're watching and following Fist and Jawa. And hang out with our Discord with Zarrk, the Astropub Discord. And like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black. Oop, that's the wrong button. I had the wrong thing set up for there we go.
Yeah. I've never done that.